Hey there guys, my name is Nixus, and welcome to the Beginner's Guide. I have been waiting for, well, a little backstory. For anyone who doesn't know, this game is made by, or written by the same guy who wrote The Stanley Parable, which is a game that I absolutely adore. If you can even call it a game. It's kind of a game. But it's fantastic, nonetheless. And this is similar in the sense that it's going to be a bit of a, it's going to mess with our heads a little bit. I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched any Let's Plays on it or anything like that. I haven't read anything. For the single reason that I loved the Stanley Parable. I loved how much it surprised me, and I'm ready to get my mind blown again. So I'm going in with knowing as little as possible. These will probably be shorter episodes. I did look up, it's about an hour or so long. So let's go ahead and begin the Beginner's Guide. Okay, the audio is in fact on. I'm using a Steam controller, but hey, you know what? It's good. We're good.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide.
You're welcome.
My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made.
Oh.
It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here.
I've done that before.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction.
Whoa.
Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to turn down the sensitivity a little bit. Here's some fun little background stuff. That's just, yeah. I was noticing it was a little wobbly on there. There we go, it's a little better. So, Whisper machine is
This
active.
game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
It shoots very softly. Coda, you need to coda some more audio. Ooh, I'm not going through there. I'm going down here. Yeah, evacuate immediately. Yeah, so his games don't take it exactly for what he says. I mean, it could be something as simple as what he says it is, but if it's anything like the Stanley Parable, then there's going to be more to this game. Am I going to be shooting anything?
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately,
crap.
we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
That's right, I neutralized them.
I
Ooh,
love how you can
space.
see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Wow, this is cool. I mean, I'm still trying to get a grip on exactly what it's gonna be, but it is very neat. Hello? Are there any enemies?
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh. Well. What if I don't want to skip past it?
Or, if you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too.
There's gotta be something in here. Some sort of secret. Something interesting. The trick to getting out of a labyrinth is to constantly take right turns. Eventually you'll find your way out. But for now, I'm just basically meandering. There's gotta be something. Some secret, some clue, some thing that is... I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking of this like the Stanley Parable. Perhaps I should be playing this for what it is, but I do want to try and suss out all of the little secrets that there could be in here. Here's the thing, though. I'm actually probably going to get lost in here. And then everyone will laugh and make fun of me. As they well should. Oh well. Here I am.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The
Okay.
game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay. Ooh.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering a whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
So he's a recluse that made games on his computer and never released them, but he got a female to do voices for him. I mean, do it. Oh. Okay, I guess I gotta sacrifice myself. Ah, for the good of
Pause
humanity.
here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. Whoa. Whoa.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain, He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. Interesting. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this first episode here. I'm very interested in how this game's going to turn out. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm pretty excited for it. I hope you are too. And soon...
So try walking backwards.
The past was behind her? I was doing my outro. Okay. Yes, we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue this next time. So again, let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, you stay beautiful and stay tuned because more of the Beginner's Guide is on the way. I'll see you guys later.